वेलकम बैक टू जस्ट यू ही. आज वी विल टॉक अबाउट फियर्स. डर. डर क्या चीज है एंड हाउ डू वी कम आउट ऑफ इट, विच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. हाउ डू वी कम आउट ऑफ इट? आई टेल यू हाउ. Fear can be very, very immobilizing. It can actually disrupt all the progress that you plan for yourself in this wonderful journey called life. And let me tell you, every fear can be overcome. अब किस टाइप के fears हैं? वो 1000 टाइप के fears हैं. कुछ fears ऐसे हैं, for example, fear of the unknown. कल क्या होने वाला है? ओ बाय गॉड, जरूर कुछ तो कुछ होने वाला है. देख आज ना ये पत्ता जो है यू ऐसा उल्टा गिरा, उल्टा उल्टा, ये उल्टा गिरा है, कल कुछ होने वाला है. दैट्स वन काइंड ऑफ फियर. द अदर फियर इज फियर ऑफ सक्सेस. अगर मैं जीत गया, क्या मैं सिकंदर बनूंगा? नहीं. अगर मैं बन भी गया, तो हाउ डू आई फेस द वर्ल्ड? व्हाट विल दे से? देयर रिएक्शंस, हाउ विल आई हैंडल देयर रिएक्शंस? आज तक तो मैं कभी जीता नहीं किसी चीज में. Fear of the failure. मैं फेल कर जाऊंगा, मम्मी डैडी क्या कहेंगे? मैं फेल कर जाऊंगा, आस पड़ोस वाले क्या कहेंगे? मैं फेल कर जाऊंगा तो मेरे दोस्त वाले क्या कहेंगे? क्या समझाओगे कैसे मैं फेल हुआ? So these are some of the very, very common fears. And there are some fears which are born out of a certain trauma that you would have experienced in life. मैं बताता हूं अपना एक. जब मैं when I was a young boy, I was studying one day in school, मैं एक पुराना सा चेयर पर बैठ गया खाली क्लासरूम में. And it just so happened that time that a spider was webbed below the chair and it gave birth to hundreds of spiders. मुझे तो ऐसा लगा, hundreds of spiders, baby spiders. और they all started climbing onto my body. उससे मुझे इतना traumatic fear हो गया था कि I didn't know how to handle that for quite some years. Some fear comes from trauma. But we need to handle our fears. We need to overcome them. We need to face them. And we need to get victorious over them. Kyun? Because we need to be successful and happy and blissful in life. So, should I tell you how I overcame some of my fears and what strategies I used? अभी बता देते हैं आपको. First thing, and this is one very good tip I'm giving you. You know, the day I started analyzing all my fears, it actually started adding to my progress. अजीब लगता है ना, but सच है ये. Whatever was painful for me, I would start analyzing it. Why is it painful? Why am I afraid of it? What is it that I need to think and do about this fear of mine so that I can override it? And most of the time, मैं आपको बताऊं, the analysis used to prove that it was a weakness and this weakness was the cause of my fear. And therefore, it added to my progress because I turned this weakness into a strength. Tip number 2. Face your fears. Embrace it. पता क्या है? One thing I noticed कि when I started facing and embracing my fear, I realized one thing, that fear makes me actually act. It makes you take action. या तो मैं भागूं या तो मैं लड़ूं. Well, मैं तो फाइटर हूं. I always fought. And every time I fought, I realized that it is designed to make me act towards progress. Because every time I fought it, I won. And every time I won, I progressed. Tip number 3. You know, I was never ever ashamed of telling people around me what my fears were. पता क्यों? Because I'm as normal as they are. Today I'm telling you my fears. Am I feeling embarrassed? नहीं. Am I feeling ashamed? नहीं. क्यों? Because I'm human. So I would tell a lot of my friends, boss, this is what I'm fearing. अब मेरे को ना एक झटका मार. Get me out of it. आपने कभी बंगी जंपिंग किया है या किसी को देखा है बंगी जंपिंग करते हुए? You know when he ties that bungee to him or herself and climbs at right the top. You know the amount of fear that that person is going through when you see down, the distance of the ground, the earth below you. But what makes that person break out of the fear? Everybody else telling him, you can do it, you can do it, jump, we've jumped. हमने भी किया ना, I'm still here up with you. Go on, take that leap, jump. And what happens? That person jumps. So similarly, if you're afraid of something, if there's something that you're afraid of, fearing deep inside, tell your friends and say, boss, I want to get out of it. Please help me. And you'll be surprised. Your family, your friends, anyone who you discuss with will take that step to help you come out of it. They always do. So you must try this method. Tip number 4. आपको पता मैं क्या करता हूँ? Sometimes I'm under severe fear. I just sit down and do yogic pranayama. This is there in our culture for centuries. Just breathing in and breathing out. Deep breathing in and deeply breathing out. Concentrating on every breath that goes in. Every breath that goes out. Imagining how the breath is going inside, going past my throat into my lungs, and how my lungs are now exhaling it out again through my mouth. Constantly concentrating on this soothes the mind. Because fear में क्या होता है? It gets kicked up when your mind is also gets highly agitated. Fear does that. डर से होता है ना? Your heart starts beating very fast. You get very excited. Yeah, पता है क्या होने वाला भी, क्या होने वाला भी, क्या होने वाला भी, है ना? Just sit, relax, start breathing. 10 times in, out, in, out, in, out, and just you will actually see yourself slowly calming down and your fear subsiding. Breathing is an amazing way of conquering your fears and helping you to think progressively towards embracing it, confronting it, and removing it. Tip number 5. ये बड़ा practical tip है. मैं आपको बताऊं. Every time something would frighten me and I would get afraid, I would immediately break out of that. And I'd say, I am a gladiator. I am a samurai. I am fearless. And this cannot fear me. This entire positive, fearless attitude would completely change the situation, both outside of me and in my mind. And I would stop being afraid of anything. कई बार ऐसा होता था, go to give an interview. अब डर लगता है, पता नहीं क्या होने वाला है, कैसे सवाल पूछेंगे, what sort of person would meet. You feel that fears are breaking you down, na? It knocks your confidence off. लेकिन मैं क्या करता था? I'd walk up to the receptionist, say, my name is so and so, and I am scheduled for a meeting or interview with Mr. So and so. And I'd sit down and say, आजा देख लेते हैं. I am a gladiator. I am a samurai. I am not afraid of anything. I am fearless. Nothing can frighten me. And I will go through this interview and get the job. मुझे पता है होने वाला. क्यों? Because I am fearless and this is me. This positive attitude, fearless affirmations, would actually make a big difference every time I face something that I would have to fear. This is one unique way to pull out yourself from any situation that actually tends to shake you or frighten you. And finally, tip number 6, maintain a journal, maintain a diary every day. This, I tell you, is an amazing methodology I had adapted to kill all my fears. Pata hai kyun? What happens is when there's something that is disturbing you constantly in your mind, it is always a good idea to take a diary, a journal, and start writing it out. अपना दिमाग से ना निकालो उसको and put it on paper. I have been maintaining a journal for several decades, and most of my life's journey, basically all the things that I was afraid of, or those things that frightened me, I used to write it out in the diary. अब क्या है ना, यहाँ से निकल गया, वहां तक चला गया, कोई बात नहीं. Now my mind is empty. My mind now open to take in a lot of positive thinking, lot of positive thoughts, observe lot of positive incidences around me. Now, let us say something again bothers me. Go back to my journal, write it out. You know what can actually happen with this? जो मेरे साथ हुआ था. Every time I write out the problem, the solution also gets written down automatically. क्योंकि मैं तो वो लिख रहा हूँ ना, अपने इससे मैं डर रहा हूँ, इससे मैं डर रहा हूँ, ये शायद होगा, ये शायद ऐसा होगा, ये शायद वैसा होगा. Side by side मैं ये भी लिख रहा हूँ. What I should do to handle that. What I should do to kill that problem. What I should do to convert my fears into absolute feelings of strength and confidence. Fearlessness. That really works well. And I suggest try it out. So these are some of the tips I can give you about how to conquer your fears. Daro mat. Don't ever be scared of anything. Kuch nahi hone wala. Most of what we imagine happens because we've started living that imagination and we have created that happening. Don't forget, it's a very important thing. Every time you imagine and you deeply imagine something that is going to go wrong, it goes wrong because you're creating that. What you think you attract. Suna apne na? What you think you attract. You are your thoughts. The stronger your thoughts, the stronger you are. The weaker your thoughts, the weaker you are. Be strong. Be always fearless. And जैसे मैं हमेशा कहता हूं हम लोगों को, celebrate life. Celebrate being you because you're worth it. I hope you enjoyed this just you he today. Do share it with your friends and do of course subscribe to remain constantly in touch with me. चलो इजाजत दीजिए. Goodbye from Anand, nair, and I will see you again soon next week.